Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi there, traders. Welcome to the live webinar with Admiral Markets. My name is Chris, and we are going to take a look at how to use Fibonacci, fractals, moving averages. We were looking at how you can use those tools for trade setups. This time I want to talk about how you can use these tools for trade management once the trade setup is open, and how we can basically manage the trade, basically using to take profits, trail stops, of course, as well, and market exits. All right, so we'll be focusing on that. First of all, though, as you probably already know, two disclaimers to go through. One of them explains the fact that this webinar is shown to a global audience, but is not necessarily suitable for everyone. Therefore, please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact the appropriate entity to find out if it is suitable for you. And secondly, there we are. Please note that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This webinar is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this webinar, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. Alrighty, so thank you for your attention there. Alrighty, so this is just in case you are joining perhaps our webinars for the first or second time, perhaps discover what Admiral Markets is all about by going to the website.com, admiralmarkets.com, and you can find out more info. First of all, about Admiral Markets, how to start trading, what type of instruments you can trade. As you can see, a wide range of CFDs and instruments. All right, and platform technology. I will show you in the live webinar the advantage of using these analytics. Nanette and I work hard on that, as you can see here, with regard to wave analysis and technical analysis and education. So a lot of things to discover. All right, and with regard to analysis, check out my Twitter or Nanette's Twitter, because we were nominated for a award with FX Street. So if you are in the mood for voting, we would definitely appreciate your vote for best analysis on, it's called sell side. It's, I think, the third topic of the list, because there are more nominations. There are I think 8 categories or something, or 7 or something like that. And then tonight at Admiral Markets, we are nominated for one of those categories. So if you like voting, we would definitely appreciate it. All right, let me go to the MT4. I quickly closed it because I had some problems opening the software, but luckily Nanette helped me out and managed to start it with him. But it will be there soon. Just 1 second. Hope you had a good weekend as well. Hope that you're having some good trades. This week is a little bit tricky because it is the last day of the month tomorrow, the first day of the month on Thursday. Those are a little bit more difficult days. It's also a week with FOMC and NFP on Friday. Not the easiest type of week, but anyhow, we're going to look if there's anything interesting. With regard to, we'll start with the euro dollar, and yeah, it is a little bit tricky spot. It is bouncing up. I thought that actually the price would continue down to the S1 38.50 fib zone today, but it didn't. It actually showed a bounce. This bounce, is this a trend continuation, or is this a correction for more downside? I'm not too sure yet at this moment. It did break below this weekly pivot point. It is definitely something that could, because it's a wave 4, most likely that wave 4 could be a more lengthy type of correction, and so far it's been not that long, so it definitely could expand. And I think that this is a pretty good 4-hour candle, so that could indicate that price is ready for the uptrend. I would probably want to keep an eye on the hourly chart. What I would like to see probably at this moment is for price to make a flag like this. And if it makes a flag like that, a break of that flag, I think, would be an interesting bullish breakout, because overall, I think that the price is an uptrend. We just had a choppy kind of slow correction. Price has broken above that. Is this a false break or a real break? Question mark. We don't know. I think if we get a flag and a break of that flag, then it is confirming most likely the continuation of this uptrend. If for whatever reason price starts to fall quickly like this and then a flag like this, I think it's actually setting itself up for more downside, because it could expand, as I already indicated, and this, especially this area right here around the 50 and 61.8 fib, is still a zone of resistance, so it might make it deeper as well. So we have to see how price responds in this zone. Price bounced at around 124.50 at the moment. So that we'll have to see how price responds here, I think. Whether we see, in my view, bearish momentum or a slow downside. That will give us, I think, the info needed for the next swing. All right, so I'm going to move on then in that case with the pound, and it basically is, in my view, the same kind of structure. So here too, strong bullish bounce. Maybe you heard it on my video yesterday, right? Talked about the fact that 38.2 fib at 140 could be, could be important. So, and indeed, price bouncing off 140 with a good momentum. And now, do we get a bull flag? Do we get a correction? That's the question. I think that same like the euro dollar would be useful to have, because at this point it's still at resistance, even maybe more so than the euro dollar, in the sense that there's a trend line. It's still right at the weekly pivot point, and if it flies down like this, it could expand to the 50 fib too. So it's a little bit tricky spot. If, however, price makes a flag and then breaks, it's ready for a bullish breakout. If price does a three-wave move like that, then it could still be a wave 1, 2, and it could still move up. So it depends. If it moves a little bit, bounces, and goes down, it's more like an ABC. If it flies down and flag, it's probably setting itself up for a move to the 50 fib. If it's a bull flag, then it's probably setting itself up for a bullish breakout. It's more or less the same as the euro dollar. Alrighty, dollar yen, going quickly through these pairs. So if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat, of course, and reach out, ask follow-up things, no problem. Dollar yen is testing these bottoms here, big range, big purple levels indicating the bottom. And these fibs, 78, 88.6 fib could be strong. A bit of a struggle right now between the downtrend that is obviously visible, but also the fact that price is at strong support. So I'm not sure who's going to win this battle. I would probably lean towards the upside, but I have expected bullish bounces before, recently, last week and 2 weeks or so, and it didn't happen. So we'll have to see. But this one, it might occur. This bullish breakout could still take price up to the R1 and maybe up to the long-term moving average. So could occur, considering the strong support at this moment. Probably the 4-hour chart would be the best to keep an eye on this resistance trend line. And for downside, I'm not that interested right here, because it's just smack at this entire big support zone. So that does not look that good for the moment. I mean, obviously, if price has a daily candle like this, or not maybe in one day, but you get my point. Eventually, if it, I don't know, I would have to probably see a bearish candle, of course, bearish candle, push through the 88.6 fib at least, then a retracement, and I might think about trading it to the bottom, but not right now, not right here at least. Aussie kind of remains funny. Yesterday, very small inside candle. It's right at resistance. I wouldn't be interested in trading it to the upside. Downside maybe, but I don't see any candlestick confirmation that price is bouncing and reversing right now. There could be maybe a head and shoulders like this. It's too little for me at the moment. It might change if price breaks through this particular support trend line and breaks through this kind of channel that we have. If it breaks, flag, yes, might be ready for downside. Kiwi, don't like it either. Right of resistance. I'm not a big fan of many of these currency pairs at this moment. Probably, specifically not the Aussie and Kiwi. That's one thing that stands out to me for a while now. Euro dollar, pound dollar could be interesting. Just need a little bit more info about whether we get a break to the upside or a bounce to the downside. Let's see if there's anything interesting going on. I must say that last 1.5 weeks or so, I find that prices is quite corrective. That can change, of course, but you see this dollar CAD, it's been since a week, it's just been going flat and not much doing much. And before that, okay, we had a small decline, but before that, it was also a pretty big triangle. So it's not the most interesting price action ever, to put it mildly, as an understatement. Definitely not kind of the smooth, kind of trending environment that is good for swing setups at this moment, at least. And I think that, let me renew this dollar CAD quickly. There could be, one second. If this is still a retracement, because we have an upside retracement, but for that to be confirmed, price would really need to break at least above this resistance trend line. And in the meantime, there's actually kind of a pennant triangle here, as we can see. So if price breaks that triangle, it could actually retest deeper levels, right? Maybe this fib, for instance, like this. 78, 88.6 fib could be levels that price might target, right? So, and if it breaks this triangle, to the downside, if it breaks the triangle to the upside, there is a resistance trend line to be careful of. It would need to break above that before a bigger kind of bullish incentive or momentum is likely to be seen. So for the moment, struggling to do anything here. With the dollar CAD, let's take a look at more pairs. Euro yen, another pair that is really not at its finest kind of movement in January, mid-January, specifically from mid-January, just very, very rangy and boxy. And it is something we actually said mid-January, like, ooh, this is going to be a tough pair, maybe for a while. I didn't expect necessarily 2 weeks, but because of support and resistance, and it could get squeezed in between, and that is even kind of more so than, even though I said it lasted longer maybe than I would have expected necessarily. So those things can happen. It's getting kind of stuck. No matter how you draw these trend lines, it is currently not very trending or any range. We had a pretty big range prior to that too, just a small upside, downside, and then again a range. Euro yen, tricky pair at this moment. Double bottom on the hourly chart at the 61.8 fib, back above resistance. You see it breaks the low twice. It breaks the resistance 3 times. It's a tricky one. I tried to trade it yesterday, but I got out for break even or like a few pips plus because yeah, because of the fact that it's just pretty rangy and stuff, and the bearish breakout didn't find the momentum that I was looking for. Euro pound, well, even more so, even longer in a range, unfortunately. Now, I'm not saying that range trades are not, obviously range trades are also possible to trade. So but in this environment, swing, because I'm looking more at swing setups, right? In this environment, it could be better to focus on shorter time frame trades. Nenad does that. He's more into intraday trading. He's getting great setups, right? Despite maybe the kind of choppiness that we're seeing on higher time frames. That doesn't prevent him from finding some very good intraday setups. For swing setups, it's a little bit more fragile at this moment, in my view at least. Look at this euro odd, for instance, here too. I don't see any setup that would make sense, unfortunately. It's just reality. It's it's kind of there is some momentum here in the sense that yes, price made a strong upside here, made a little bit of upside, a little bit of downside here. Right? But overall, not an easy environment. I guess ultimately when we look at the daily chart, it's probably more bullishly aligned. It's could be a double bottom at 61.8 fib. We have a higher high, higher low at this moment. I would probably need to see a daily candle break through this resistance trend line with the close above it, and that would sway things kind of into me maybe considering to trade to the upside. Probably will monitor the daily chart. So I'm not saying that there's nothing on the radar. I think this euro odd upside could be interesting, but not right now. No, but at least I have something envisioned with this trend line that could make it interesting in the near future. Here in New Zealand, bounced off the 38.2 fib, as you can see, at the long-term moving average after a three-wave down. This three-wave down could be a classical kind of ABC correction. The bounce of the 38.2 fib is making it likely that this is some kind of wave 4. So here too, Euro New Zealand could be in a bounce for a wave 5 breakout to the upside. All right, so if that is true, then this could be wave 1, 2. Maybe this is another wave 1, 2. So what kind of trigger could be valid here if that is true? Sorry, wrong template. Maybe the same trend line, maybe like this. Daily candle, perhaps above this resistance zone. Could be just like your odd, the same bullish breakout structure. And yeah, if we get a bullish breakout, then that could be wave 3 or wave C. Both would indicate upside. So Euro New Zealand, Euro odd, I would add to my watch list, but on a higher time frame, daily chart for the moment, and add it to the watch list that already has, for the moment, euro dollar and pound dollar on it. Oh, great. Let's see. Pound yen has reached S2. That's a weekly pivot point. That's one of the, by the way, one of those indicators that I mentioned. I mentioned the Supreme Edition plugin. That's a extra software or plugin that you can download, and then it is added to the MT405, and you can use all kind of different indicators and tools to make your trading simpler, 60 plus extra features. One of those is basically this pivot point indicator. Another one, CalNet channel. Another one, the mini terminal. There are many, many more, as I said, 60 plus features in total. Here you can see a bunch of them, from alarm manager to a correlation metrics. And if we scroll up, we will see the indicator package indicating many, many more, such as that pivot that I'm using, but also other interesting tools like gravity and order history, Renko, etc. In any case, price is bouncing off these weekly pivot points, and that could be a bouncing spot. Still in this channel. Maybe a little bit late at this moment, so reversal trades here or here, probably better now. Maybe waiting for this daily candle could be good. Daily candle, and let it close bullishly. Let it make a pullback and try to find a bounce and continue. Even if this is just a simple A, B, C, because there is a potential 5 wave here, I would say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if there's a bullish ABC, trying to trade the wave C could make sense, but we need this pullback, I think. Pound odd had that breakout candle here on a week ago already, but after that it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. I'm not a particular fan of it at this point. Bounce off the 61.8 fib. I would be interested in seeing how price responds here. I don't have any setup in mind at the moment. I'll probably keep it, keep it up to, keep analyzing it. If I would probably need to see price either make a hook back, fail to break this top, and then continue higher, or if it does break, I need to see some flag and continue. Too early for me to trade it either way. Pound New Zealand probably same. On New Zealand is making a double bottom or made a double bottom and is trying to break out. I'm not a big fan of this currency pair, just like the euro pound, but if it makes a bull flag, it could be interesting. CAD yen finally for Mocha. Sorry if I don't say your name correctly there, but say hi to Dushan for me, by the way. Hope everything is going well with you guys. And with regard to the CAD yen, I think that it is making a little bit of a falling wedge. Which ultimately looks bullish. I would probably need to see price break above this fractal. Some candle can break above it, I think, for the moment. Otherwise, it looks a little bit risky to trade the immediate breakout, I would say. All right. But if it breaks that, I think that I would be looking for, a candle, a break with some 4-hour candles through it, some kind of hook back that is not too aggressive, and a continuation. That could make sense. Hope that helps a little bit. Nothing, but ultimately, I think it looks bullish though. All right. And that's, I think, for the moment it. Let me check other time frames. Otherwise, I would say it's more at support at this moment. All right, so let's move on. And please, and once again, say hi to Dushan for me. And of course, there's not only currency pairs. There are a lot of instruments besides currency pairs. So one of those is gold commodity, and it is right in this resistance zone, still there. So I think that we are seeing a little bit of bearish momentum here. So it could be a 5-wave. We get ABC without breaking this particular top. More downside is possible. So that could be bearish. Finally, S&P 500, strong weekly candles, getting some retracement on the 4-hour chart. Maybe not all too strange after such a big move up on the 4-hour chart since August, really, mostly non-stop. It's very far away from the long-term moving average at this moment. Pretty impressive. And we'll have to see how this retracement happens. I think that you never know, but I would be more inclined to say that a little bit bigger correction could occur here. Oil finally making some downside. DAX 2 lower lows are highs, but at support as well at this moment. Looks more like a bouncing spot, even though price has moved down lower. This eventually, I think, could make retest of this resistance zone. Already. Otherwise, your cat looked bearish. 2 daily candles to the downside, divergence between these tops. But it was looking like it broke above this trend line with this candle. So ultimately, I didn't follow through with staying in short, but it did look, like a good breakout here to the downside with all the divergence. It's just that, this bullish candle was a little bit tricky. So, and otherwise, let's see. Any other instruments we could take a look at? Hard yen doesn't look that interesting to me. Dollar Swiss franc moving lower at this moment. And last but not least, maybe some of these CFDs. Amazon has had a recent rally since this correction here in December. small correction in December, small or bigger correction in the summer, and this continuation in January from 1200 to 14,000 at this moment. Very big momentum. With such a momentum in play, I think waiting for wave four is the best. Wave four of maybe what degree is a good question. Probably on a 4-hour chart, I would say. I would eventually think that there should be some bull flag and one more higher high because it looks so bullish, and so that momentum will not just vanish. I think Facebook is not the same. It's a little bit more corrective. So yes, Amazon looks a little bit better from that point of view if we get a bull flag. I know it's already moved up a lot, but and Tesla also looks pretty much it's moving up, but it's still corrective, I think. With regard to Fibs, fractals, and moving averages, we'll dive into that tomorrow in the strategy webinar, how to use it for trade management purposes. I'll give you perhaps one quick example. And if you have any particular pairs in mind that you want to take a look at, of course, let me know. Let me go back to the Forex market. All right, there we go. Let's see. All right, let's take this as an example. This breakout right here. All right, we get a breakout candle, or this one, or this one. You know, it depends if we take the breakout of the trend line or the fractal. All right. So how can we manage it using fibs and moving averages? So for instance, with fibs, we can use the target. We can use Wiz as well. Let me add Wiz 1 second. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So when we get a break here, what are the targets? Well, fourth level could be something, of course, to think about, and the fifth, obviously, right? So when I find a possible confluence, I mean, typically minus 61.8 fib would be good. There's a 120 round level, and if it breaks above that, we might be aiming for the fifth Wiz level indeed. So that could be, you know, how we can use targets. So fib, obviously, for management, good. For management, fibs are, of course, good for that. Fractals could be good for trail stop losses. So if we see price at the minus 272 target, we can use this fractal to move to break even. We can use this fractal to lock in profit. We can use this fractal to lock in more profit. So those are very handy. And moving averages kind of indicate whether this upside is over. Here you can see the moving average turning down again. That could be a moment like, okay, you know, we want to be careful with expecting maybe more upside, right? Or we can use a moving average to basically stay above, or I should not say above, sorry, to ride along these moving averages, these candles, right below it. If it breaks through the ADMA, it could be also a good trail stop loss. So moving averages, good for trail stop loss. Fractals, good for that, and stop loss in general. And fibs, then better for targets. So fractals good for stop loss, trail stop loss. Moving averages good for trail stop loss. Fibs are good for fibs retracement, fib targets, and fib sequence levels good for targets. All right, but we'll dive into that tomorrow in our strategy webinar. This was a quick intro. I guess that's it for now. If you're interested in more info with regard to Supreme Edition, here you go. Find this green button on the main page, or click on Platforms and then MetaTrader Supreme Edition, and test those 60 plus extra features or more yourself. Feel free to do that. And if you're on the website already, feel free to check out other things right here, like this: how to start trading, instruments, analytics, education, etc. All right. So thanks for joining this webinar. We're going to be back tomorrow. Nenet has his live webinar. I have it Thursday. We have one more. You get all the info about the schedule right here. Forex and CFD webinars. We have live real-time daily trading ideas live in the morning as well, 10 a.m. GMT time. Short webinar, 15 minutes. So you have all the info quick and sweet. So that's about it. Wish you, once again, good trading, and talk to you soon. Cheers.